Welcome to Everything Eichler. I'm your host, Fred Eichler, and this week, me and Lauren are heading to Leadville, Colorado, up about 10,500 feet after snowshoe rabbits. I know technically it's a hare, people get all upset, but I was always taught, Fred, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So, snowshoe rabbit, I'm gonna go with rabbit. I know it's technically a hare, I'm just gonna call it a rabbit. I'm just gonna be wrong the whole show. So I'm always looking for different adventures, and a hunt for snowshoe rabbits sounded like exactly what I wanted to do. The only problem was that it was about 0 degrees, and once you got off a snowshoe trail, well, the snow was anywhere from 2 to 6 feet deep, pretty deep. The other really neat thing is besides going after snowshoe rabbits, hares, I know, we also got to see bighorn sheep, elk, mule deer, all kinds of other different really cool animals. So like this collared elk, it's not every day you see a collared elk. So the plan was to find snowshoe rabbit tracks. Well, they're huge and they're pretty easy to find, especially in the fresh snow that we had. So I would cover a lot of country, public land, just looking for snowshoe rabbit tracks. Once I found snowshoe rabbit tracks, it was time to whip out the loopholes and start some heavy glassing. Snowshoe rabbits are all white, especially in the winter, and they blend in perfectly with the snow. You're literally looking for an eyeball. You're looking for something that doesn't quite blend in, like a piece of an ear or something that just doesn't quite look right. It takes some good glass and it takes somebody that's patient. But watching the tracks and then trying to find the rabbit based on that was the way we were going. Well, to prepare for this trip, I kind of need to take you back a little bit.
All right, so right now I'm practicing the snowboard part of snowboards and snowshoes, and then I'll be moving on to the snowshoes. But first I thought I better master the snowboard.
So my original idea on hunting snowshoes was to use a snowboard. I used to do a little snowboarding, so I thought, man, this could be really fun. But first, I probably better head to the slopes and see if I'm as good as I remember. Well, apparently I'm not as good of a snowboarder as I remember.
Stand down.
That was a cool trick.
I was doing good to just make it down the mountain without killing myself. Trent, however, is really good, but we had such a great time. Trent was over there doing little jumps and just cruising all around me, and I may have had a couple serious wrecks that made me rethink my decision to climb up the mountain with a snowboard and try and go down it with either a rifle, a handgun, or a recurve without getting killed. I thought the odds of something really bad happening to me are extremely high. So I ditched the snowboard idea for snowshoes. I thought that would be safer.
That was more of a sit down.
So the snowshoes were safer. What I had not taken into consideration is that we were between 10,500 and 11,000 feet, and there was even less air than I'm used to. However, when I spotted the first rabbit, I fretted out a little bit. I got pretty excited. I was like, oh my gosh, it's 70 to 80 yards in the thick brush. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna grab the recurve. No, I'm gonna take the handgun. No, I'm back and forth. And I'm like, no way, I'm taking the rifle because it's in this thick clump of willows where I could see it, but there's no way I could snake an arrow through. I'm breathing way too heavy to try and hit it with a handgun. And I thought the 22 Plankster is gonna be the way to go. So strap on snowshoes, I climb down and get within 25 yards of the rabbit. I throw up, and at first I'm like, there's no way I can shoot. I gotta give it a minute, and I have to get closer. So I sneak a little closer. Finally, I got what I think is a semi-open shot at the rabbit, and I shoot. And at first, I questioned my shot because the rabbit kind of jumped and it looked like it jumped forward, and I got worried that it was gone, but I walked over, it had only made one jump, and my beautiful snowshoe hare rabbit was laying in the snow. We're just gonna go with rabbit the whole rest of the time. It's too confusing.
But I got him with the little Mossberg Plinkster.
So, snowshoe rabbit is dead in the snow. I'm super excited. This is like a beautiful rabbit, and this is exactly why we came to Leadville.
That is a beautiful, beautiful snowshoe rabbit. and I'm pretty dang excited. Got him with my Mossberg 22 Plankster and running the snowshoes because the snow is super deep. You'll see how deep it is in a second as I try and get out of here. But trying to weave through these willows down here, pretty tough, but I'm pretty dang excited with that beautiful snowshoe rabbit. Snowshoe rabbit in my snowshoes. Because if I didn't have these snowshoes on, oh, I'd be, what? Uh-oh. If it wasn't for the snowshoes, I'd be really down. Going downhill is pretty easy. I scanned with the loopholes, was able to pick it up, and then slipped down there to those trees, got a good shot. And when he took off running, man, I was nervous for a second, but ended up making a great shot. Snowshoe rabbit hunting and snowshoes, pretty dang cool.
Oh yeah, that's not a workout at all, is it? Lauren, who is running camera and also hunting, told me that she thought it would be easier to go without the snowshoes and just walk through the snow. It's hard to say who did it better, but you can see here how deep the actual snow is and the struggle of going after a snowshoe once you spot it. Yeah, that's about where I was struggling and you were making fun of me. Come on, Fred, you're almost here. Come on.
There's a fresh snowshoe track right there. Snowshoe track. We're a little over 10,000 feet here in Colorado, and we're trying to do the grand slam of rabbits. And so we thought we'd start with one of the tougher ones, the snowshoe, and then move on to the jackrabbit and the cottontail. But that was pretty dang fun. Brought recurves and rifles. Let's see if we can find this guy.
The frustrating thing about snowshoe rabbit hunting, if you've never been, or maybe you can relate, is that there's a lot of tracks. But one rabbit can make a lot of snowshoe rabbit tracks in the snow. But you're trying to find one rabbit because basically they're more solitary. So, you know, they get together to breed, but that's about it. You may be going a little bit of a distance to find another snowshoe. So I'd find tracks, lots of tracks, and then I'm looking all over. And based on the tracks, you would think there would be rabbits everywhere. The other frustrating thing is the reason they're called snowshoes is they have giant feet like snowshoes. They're also super light. Barely, I mean, I don't even know. 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds tops. Very lightweight rabbits with huge feet. So they can run right across the top of the snow. Then I would try and decipher that fresh track from the 19 other tracks that rabbit had made during the night or during the daytime, and I couldn't really get it sorted out. So snowshoe rabbit hunting is definitely a challenge, especially on public land where other people out there chasing them, and especially in thick willows.
Oh my gosh, I see a rabbit.
Rabbit number 2, I spotted while following a rabbit track and trying to sort out. I was like, man, there's lots of fresh rabbit tracks here. And I look up and it's the perfect scenario. I see a snowshoe, not in super thick brush, but there's like a log there and he's literally silhouetted. Like I'm like, that's the best view I've ever had of a snowshoe. Usually it's just like an eyeball or a piece of an ear, but I could see the whole rabbit. And so super exciting. And Lauren is gonna try and get this one with a recurve. She slips down, makes a great shot, but misses the rabbit by that much. So that snowshoe takes off and it's time to keep looking for another one. Oh. Well, the next rabbit we spot is in super thick willows, and I'm having a difficult time even trying to find a spot to shoot the 22 through. Like, it's super thick and I'm trying to move and jockey for position. I find a spot where I think I can slip through and all I can see is part of the rabbit's head. So that's what I shoot at. I got lucky and shot this beautiful snowshoe.
No way to get an arrow through. I had my recurve too. The only shot I had was a little gap to try and shoot him in the head. Mossberg 22 Plankster. Rabbit down. Let me see if I can figure out how to get to him. The snow is a little deep. There's a giant hole right here he was about to get into. They are so beautiful. Look at that beautiful rabbit. Super unique things about these snowshoes. One, you probably need snowshoes to hunt the snowshoe rabbits. But I'll show you how beautiful their hair is and some really unique features about snowshoe rabbits. So one, they turn absolutely stark white in the winter. So they blend in perfectly with the snow. Usually the only thing you're seeing is going to be that dark eye or the black and brown around the ears. So that's usually the only thing you can spot. They're super light. Like this rabbit, I would say maybe 2 pounds. But look at the amount of fur on that front foot. You can see how there's literally you can't see its toes at all. And then if you look at the hind feet, they're really large and they spread out quite a bit to give them traction in the snow. And we'll show you what the tracks look like. You can see they've got little claws on the end here to help them grip in the snow, but literally like snowshoes, and because they're so light, those feet spread out. And to help get away from predators like coyotes, lynx, and bobcat, they can run across snow that larger predators sink into. But you can see even the tail, no brown or black on it at all. Perfectly white.
You know, to me, rabbit hunting is really neat because a lot of people cut their teeth hunting rabbits. That was one of the first species that they started out after. And I was the same. I started hunting as a young man with my father, and I also took my boys out hunting for rabbits when they were younger. It was a ton of fun. We used all kinds of different weapons. We would use bows, we would use handguns, we would use shotguns, we would use rifles, a little bit of everything. And the other fun thing about rabbits is that they're really good to eat. We've had a lot of fun hunting rabbits, and when I got back with the snowshoes, me and Trent went out and we also took some beautiful rabbits. So we wanted to show you the different rabbits. So with all 3 rabbits, we just wanted to show you the different size differences. We thought it was kind of cool. But whenever I'm trying to video with Trent, it's very hard to be serious with my son because we're always cutting up. So whenever the camera's off, we're always goofing off, we're always wrestling. Trent's always trying to pinch my nipple.
Ow! He's got my nipple!
Which, you know, I don't know. I probably did it to him a lot when he was a kid, just jacking around. So it's become a thing. We try and wrestle and get each other. But now he's getting like super strong. And so it's not as fun for me because I lose a lot more. But unfortunately, this was actually sent to my editor because it was on the film when we were trying to be serious. And he decided that he thought it'd be funny to put it in there. So this is Trent beating me up, basically.
Ah! Okay, I'm tapping. Ah! All right, well, this is pretty cool because we laid out all 3 different rabbits together.
Yes, sir.
It's cool looking at the differences.
Yes, sir. My personal favorite out of all of them is going to be the snowshoe. It's just so pretty. But out of the jackrabbit and the cottontail, I'm going to have to go with the cottontail as my favorite.
Really?
They're just they're all over the place. You can always see them, but they're also so pretty.
Yeah, and they probably, I think out of all 3, honestly, I'm going to lean toward the cottontail as far as table fare.
No, they taste the best for sure.
Now, you can make them all taste pretty good, Hassenpfeffer, and technically the snowshoe is a hare, not a rabbit, and we'll give you some information on 3 different ones, but I think it was neat to put all 3 of them here together because we just did a pretty awesome rabbit hunt. And, you know, Trent got the cottontail of jackrabbit, you know, I got the snowshoe, but we've shot them all over the place. And rabbits are always a challenge. They're fun to hunt, and they're so beautiful because they can be so different. So here in Colorado, that's pretty much the 3 that we have. We do have a white-tailed jackrabbit,
yes, sir,
as well. We didn't go hunt one of those. They're not found right here where we're at or real close. But the difference is you can look at hold that guy up. This is why they're called a black-tailed jackrabbit right there. And of course, for people that don't know, that is called the cottontail rabbit. And it's because it looks like a little cottontail right there. And the snowshoe rabbit, of course, called the snowshoe, but largely in part to its giant feet, because they run across the top. Yeah, show the back of that. They can run across the top of snow.
Look how big that is.
I know, isn't that crazy? And look at all the hair. I mean, really cool.
Yes, sir.
But they can run across the top of the snow and deep snow. And as you could see, I was literally trying to walk through probably 5 to 6 foot of snow in snowshoes, and I was still sneaking in. I was still sinking in like a foot and a half, 2 feet, maybe even 3. I was sinking in.
So maybe because I'm fat, but shush up. But I was sinking in really deep, but these guys run right across the top of it. So 3 really cool rabbits, totally different hunts.
Yes, sir.